My first shortwave radio from Radio Shack. What memories. This Christmas, we got our son's Color Computer 3 from Radio Shack. It hooks right up to our TV and was on sale for less than $130. The Color Computer 3 makes learning fun. Jimmy even lets me use it for word process when he isn't playing computer games. Lucky I still got my shortwave.
Save $70 on the sale-priced Color Computer 3, only at Radio Shack.
King size. 2 king-size glossy prints of every picture at one low price within 24 hours, or you get them free at Medic, 7 days a week.
4 days only. Just 4 days for the Fredder Appliance in the store warehouse sale. 4 days this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Don't spend more than $163 for this 19-inch color portable TV, or $237 for this Magnavox VHS video cassette recorder.
The Fredder Appliance 4-day in the store warehouse sale. 4 big days this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
4 days of low prices just for you.
Modern hospitals may look the same, but they sure don't treat you the same. For instance, can you name a hospital that saves seniors like myself 20% on inpatient stays with a no-deductible, no-co-payment plan? Lakewood Hospital does. And that Money Saver is just one of the many services in Lakewood's special senior care program. Call 333-CARE, and they'll send you a free booklet all about it.
Here you are, Mr. Miller.
They're nice people, too.
Alcoholism is a spiritual, mental, and physical disease that is destroying the very fibers of family life in the black community. The majority of black alcoholics are not welfare cases. They are everyday working people. Help is available. Please call Alcoholism Services of Cleveland, 391-2300.
Join the G.I. Joe team as they furiously battle the evil forces of Cobra in The Revenge of Cobra. G.I. Joe! It's the most exciting action-adventure movie you've ever seen. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy. Fight to save G.I. Joe and The Revenge of Cobra. Watch it.
Watch the action Friday morning at 10 on WUAB.
Now, it's here. The excitement, the adventure of a new force at breakfast. We'll call them C-3POs. New C-3PO cereal from Kellogg's. Twin rings, phased together. For 2 crunches in every double O. A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast. Now you can experience the taste of Kellogg's C-3PO.
Hi, Grandma. Oh, how's my Samantha Mildred?
Whoa, Warren Bentley's getting heavy.
Everyone, we have an announcement. Lauren?
There's a new member of the family. I've adopted Wendy Lucille.
Congratulations.
Why such a large family?
Well, I wanted to have my family while I was still young.
The Cabbage Patch Kids by Coleco.
If you're searching for something for your little girls and boys, and you're finding high prices but not finding toys, and you're sad and you're blue and your tire's running around, the Lionel Kitty City turned that frown upside down. We got selection, so precious true. Lionel Kitty City makes it easy for you. The prices and selection are among the best around. The Lionel Kitty City turned that frown upside down.
You can see it in her eyes, the doubts we all go through. We'll see you through those unsure looks, just staring back at you.
When you're ready for contact lenses, trust the Pearl team of experts for the right lenses and a comfortable fit.
You'll see it in her eyes, that look you'll always prize. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
There's a certain kind of person who's always working to do things better. At Bank One, we have 9,000 of them.
9,000 people care how well we do. We're a company of winning people. 9,000 people who care. Bank One.
4 days only. Just 4 days for the Fredder Appliance in the store warehouse sale. 4 days this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Don't spend more than $163 for this 19-inch color portable TV or $237 for this Magnavox VHS video cassette recorder.
The Fredder Appliance 4-day in the store warehouse sale. 4 big days this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
4 days of low prices just for you.
To help them in the never-ending battle against the evil Decepticons, the Autobots create a new breed of robot, Dinobots.
Transformers, robots in disguise. Decepticons attacking! Dinobots get them! Captain and Dinobots! Transformers from Hasbro.
You can wish upon a star fairy. Yes, it's time to come into Castle Wistar, our home in the clouds. Sparkle, I've been granting wishes all day. Now can we have a party? First, take a nap.
Star fairies sold separately.
Now, yes, I'm taking a bath. Now we can dance. There's only one thing I love more than dancing. What? Making wishes come true.
New Castle Wish Star comes with bed, bath, throne, and maypole. Your parents put it together from Tonka.
Holy Jesus. How the shit is everybody today? I hope everybody's having a fantastic week so far. Oh man. If you guys don't want to look at my ugly mug, head on over to Morbid's chat. He's live right now. Dude's awesome. Much love to him. But because you probably won't be able to catch a replay. But yeah, man. It's been an interesting day. I was on Deets on the Streets panel earlier today. I don't know why I keep doing that. You know, I think it's just because it's Deets. You know, like I like her channel. But but yeah, man, there's just the element that shows up there sometimes, man. It's just like, Jesus, dude. Oh, it's exhausting just to even think about it. But you know, it's whatever though. Oh, you like this shirt, do you? I'm glad you like it. Yeah, let's do a little here you go. So yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. So yeah, so Zav Girl, and I don't think this is going to be a very long stream. Shut up, Cherry. Don't do it, Cherry. I don't think this is going to be a very long stream. And yes, I was in Nerd Report's chat today, not on panel with them, but Jules was up there. Jules, man, gotta breathe, okay? Don't get more upset about people talking about me than I do. You know what I mean? Don't do that to yourself. I appreciate it. Don't do that to yourself, though, man. You got mad. Jules went off. Feel bad for that person that she read the riot act to. She was super mad. You were super mad. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, you're always going to get some idiots. That's going to happen. Not everybody's going to like you. You know, I mean, as I always say, if I'm not saying something that's pissing somebody off, I'm not saying anything worth listening to. So, but yeah, I had that was an interesting live stream. I'm going to go over some of the same stuff that Lewis and Jules went over. But and it's nice when channels, you know, like Nerd Report doesn't really cover this type of content, still takes an interest and cares about these things and points them out. It's refreshing. So much love to Lewis for and Jules for covering that and going over it. Because it is pretty infuriating, man. Like, you get this person, she puts out this so-called apology, this Zav Ghoul, she puts out this so-called apology and then backpedals and shows the world that she didn't mean that fucking apology. You know, when you do that, an apology is when you apologize like that and then you just kind of just continue to make excuses for your shit. It basically just makes you kind of a cunt. You know, you can't just it's complete and utter bullshit. And it's infuriating because it's a slap in the face to all of us, and it's a slap in the face to her supporters, the ones that are like, damn it, you know, I wish, you know, because you know that there's those people out there that are like, no, yeah, I mean, she is a cunt. What? I agree, Cherry, absolutely. But you know, it's shitty to her supporters, man, because you know that there's some supporters out there that are like, man, we love Zav Girl. I just wish, you know, she would just say she's sorry, try to make it right, move on, you know. And she is moving on. She's trying to move on, but she just couldn't resist because this person cannot handle the criticism because she feels that she didn't do anything wrong. She honestly believes that she did not do anything wrong, which is really incredible to me. And we're going to go over some of that stuff. And yeah. And all I heard from it was actually like I tried to find the timestamp to where she started talking about it. I found it. Or at least I hope I did. So all I actually heard of it was what Lewis and Jules were playing today. So I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to go over the same stuff. But she went live for the first time in about a month. Just about 4 days ago. And Sherry, shut up. And yeah, I mean, when the whole world, I mean, even dude, I didn't realize that Kendall Ray has a podcast with another person. I'm not familiar with the person that she does this podcast with, but Kendall Ray has a podcast called The Sesh. And man, I didn't know she was capable of all them F-bombs, man. It was actually kind of refreshing. Like, I'm actually kind of a fan of The Sesh. And I started to listen to what they were talking about. And I mean, even Kendall Ray, who covers crime cases, and actually put serious work into the Christian Andriacchio case, the very case that Critical K was sued over for spreading lies about Christian's mom, Ray Andriacchio, and Ray Andriacchio sued her. So, I mean, I am enjoying this I am enjoying this trend of victims fighting back. I love it. I'm totally into it. And I love that that the Rodney family is fighting back against Ryan Cuckchurch. I'm thoroughly enjoying that too. And I'm really hoping, and I understand if they don't, because all this family, I mean, you got to think about when you think about the Gannon Stout case, okay? When you think about that case, you think about if you followed it from the beginning, if you followed it from when the actual when he was first reported missing to the point to where she was arrested, Letitia was arrested for murder, and then even later they found his body, and then all of the stalling and COVID happening and all of the stalling taking place to where she just manipulated the courts to drag this on and on. That I can only imagine being torture for Gannon's loved ones, for all of the good people in his life that love him and miss him. So I found that to be really I found that to be really frustrating. So when that trial came, I was just like, I'm here for it. And then the trial was over, and you figure, people would just move on. I did. I followed the case closely, and I figured, hey, that's it. I was even reluctant on going over her interrogation videos, even though because they were already covered in court. And she got life without the possibility of parole. Nobody bought her multiple personality bullshit defense. Nobody bought this Dorothy Lewis bullshit. And that's it. It was over, right? We all figured it was over. It was done. Jen Kitty 67, welcome to Logic. Thank you so much. And I was even reluctant to even go over that because it was over, but some of you guys thought it would be interesting to go over that without the interruptions and without the testimony over it from the FBI agent and from Detective Bethel. So I understood that. But we went over it, put it to bed. It was over. And then Ghoul decides to request from the courts all of these documents, and including Gannon's autopsy photos. And let me do this real quick. It's in the description. It's always in my description, no matter what video, what the topic of my live is. But please share this hashtag per the request of Gannon's mom, Landon Hyatt. So that hashtag that I just shared in the chat, please share that everywhere if this is an issue that you are passionate about and you care about. And I'm really hoping that it doesn't end there. I'm hoping, and I understand if she doesn't, because these people have earned their peace, to say the least. They've earned at least peace. So, but I would like to see Gannon's family hold Zavgirl accountable for what she did. I'd like to see that, but no shade being thrown at them if they don't, because they've earned the right to just move on with their lives peacefully and quietly. And yes, there's also a petition. I shared it on Twitter, but there is also a petition. Cherry, if you can grab that petition real quick and share that in the chat, and I'll pin it. Because I'm not going to sit here and discuss this idiot without some sort of balance of something positive here. But without any further ado, let's give this idiot a listen here and watch the excuses. Oh man.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
We're talking about the whole thing with the Gannon autopsy photos and stuff. I do want to address some things, and like I would love to do an open panel, but I am a little afraid just because I'm afraid of like just troll.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I always say, people, you gotta use your eyes. Okay. That fear of trolls and whatnot shows me that she has no conviction behind her actions. She knows that what she did was wrong. She knows that what she did was shitty. And she's afraid to take any criticism for it because she's not going to have a tangible defense for it. She's not going to have any real excuses, none that actually matter. So, I mean, I was streaming her when this happened, before Brian Enton exposed it and everything. I was streaming her and going over it and talking about what she did. She showed up in my chat. I invited her on the panel and she refused. And during the Kylie Rodney thing, I was in her chat and she was acting as though, okay, well, yeah, I'll let you up here. Hold on, but I'm not going to drop the chat. I'm not going to drop the link in chat because blah, blah. I don't want just anybody to come up here, but I'm not seeing your email, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. She just made these lame, dodgy excuses to avoid having a conversation with me about what her actions. This is what cowards do. And she did the same thing in my chat. And I mean, when it was her chat, it was like, you could drop the link. I do this from time to time myself, where I will drop the link in chat and I'll say, this is for this specific person to come up here. Nobody else click on it. And my audience will respect that. They always have. Because I've worked really hard to attract an audience of decent, smart, intelligent, critical thinking people. I am absolutely proud of that achievement. And even still, if somebody who's not wanted shows up in the backstage, you simply just don't let them up. You simply just don't let them up. So her little lame excuses to avoid being faced with the accountability that I was going to face her with just shows me what kind of a person she really is. You got to use your eyes.
Stream, not because I'm afraid of.
Yeah. Bro.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
Misinformation. I love they're like, this could happen to you. What happened to Zav Girl could happen to you. Nothing happened to Zav Girl. Zav Girl was held accountable for doing something shitty. There was no big internet conspiracy against her. The whole world ended up talking about what she did because what she did was beyond fucked up. Like, even the shittiest of YouTubers have never gotten that shitty. Wait, you guys can't hear it? There's no sound? Because I can hear it just fine. Let me refresh it real quick.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Can
We're
you hear it
talking about the
now?
whole thing with the Gannon autopsy photos and stuff. I do want to address some things and like I wanted to
Still
do
nothing?
I would love to do an open panel, but I am a little afraid just because I'm afraid of like just trolls coming in to like
Oh, see, this is a problem because okay, now you can hear it. Okay, cool.
ruin the live stream. Not because I'm afraid of like, you know, you guys having like hard questions or serious questions.
That's
or coming at
totally
me,
what
that's
you're afraid
fine.
of.
But you
No.
know, people could ruin whole live streams by doing like those bombs and stuff. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I do want to answer and clear up some of the misinformation going around about it because I'm hearing so much stuff and I just want the whole truth.
Like she's sitting here saying that she's afraid of being porn bombed. Nobody's going to do that. The kind of people that are pissed off about what she did are not going to porn bomb her, dude. Like
be out and exactly what happened and what it is. And so
and there's a lot like for those of you who like do like who have been around and maybe you just aren't online that much, like you might have missed some of like the craziness of it. And it definitely took a turn at a certain point where it just got in my opinion just ridiculous. And unfortunately this is something that comes with the internet, and it could happen to you, it could happen to someone else you care about, and it's good to familiarize yourself with it because it definitely changed like the issue at the beginning.
no, it didn't. What? Okay. Hold on. It could happen to anybody. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, I don't know why that's happening. Give me 1 second because I think there's a glitch in StreamYard. I'm gonna refresh StreamYard, come back. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know why that's happening. Okay. Let's see.
Around about it. And
Can you hear it now?
I'll take accountability for what I did, but I want it to be what I did and not like lies. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
And I want
exactly
the
what
truth
are you
to be out there,
talking
and
about?
people are twisting things and they're just not telling it accurately. So I just, like I said, I'll take accountability, but I
Okay, so I just paused it. Is the sound back? Even after I just because I'm wondering if when I drop these memes, it's cutting off the sound. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear it now. Can you hear it now?
I want it to be for what is the truth and what I did, and not all this other stuff that's got blown way out of proportion.
Yeah.
And so I want to figure out a way where I can do a panel in a way where people can ask me any of their questions they have. And I'll be 100% honest. Like, ask me whatever. I have nothing to hide.
Ask me whatever, but I'm not going to open my panel and let people ask me anything. What? Exactly, Nay. I'll take accountability, but unreal.
But I don't know how to go about doing that where we don't get like a bunch of crazy people. Does anybody have any like recommendations? I don't know. Or do you think I should just
This is what she
or I'm
always
gonna have
does.
to just like take questions?
This is what she always does. Like she pulled the same shit when I was in her chat. I don't want to like, does can anybody recommend what I should do here? Dude, you know exactly what you're fucking doing. Like, we already know you're an idiot, but we also know that you're aware of the shit you're doing. What makes you an idiot is that you think that what you do is okay. That's what makes you a fucking idiot.
Questions from people in the chat, like read them. But I feel like it might be better to let people up. But I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Because I want everybody's voice, like anybody has a problem with me, if you want to yell at me, if you
the best way to do it is take calls or open your panel. I mean, that's the best way to do it. You know? I mean, it's real simple. It's real simple.
if you want to ask me, but as long as, just get it all out. But, I want to be able to answer all the questions, and I want to be able to, see what happened, and you can hear it right from me. I don't know how to do it, but I'm planning on doing it this next weekend is when I ideally want to do it. So yeah, so I got to figure that out, and then Julie, go ahead. You're going to do a video, you said.
I want to do a video too, and I noticed, I just saw in chat some of you guys mentioning Brian Ensign. I'm going to talk about the Brian Ensign thing also. Because I have some, I was going to say insider information about it, which sounds way more exciting than it actually is. But yeah, not a good person, apparently. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just fucking fantastic, isn't it? That's just fucking fantastic. So here's the post apology statements being made, and let's throw in I've got dirt on Brian Ensign. You think that that's a good look? That you're trying to like trash a person who showed the world and gave his opinion on what you did? Because Brian Ensign hasn't done anything like that to my knowledge. I mean, and you're even saying it's not that exciting, but you're just saying you just want to throw him under the bus somehow. You just want to attack Brian Ensign somehow. Brian Ensign hasn't done shit but tell the world what you did. And you did that. There's no lies involved in that. There's no fucking lies. I mean, you requested the autopsy photos, you showed them, and you charged money for them because you figured it was exclusive content that you could make money off of. You put it behind a paywall because you thought it was so, exclusive. I mean, get fucking real. There's nothing untrue about any of that. And that's all you were called out on. That's it.
Yeah, I definitely,
I wasn't, some big fan of his prior to that, but I always heard other people talk about how great he is. So I was blown away. But there's some information that you guys might not know that I'm going to touch on about him. Just to give people.
But what the fuck makes you think we want to know about Brian Ensign? Because if it has anything to do with his personal life, you're a piece of shit. Like, if you're wanting to talk about Brian Ensign's personal life and anything that takes place behind the cameras, then you're a piece of shit. Simple. Simply because he expressed an opinion strongly about something that you did. Because Brian Ensign actually has some scruples and some standards. Dude, think about that. For someone like Brian Ensign, for a network like News Nation to feel like we have to address something a YouTuber did, which never fucking happens. It never happens. You had to have done some fucked up nefarious shit. Seriously. For him to go that far. I mean, he wouldn't even address Bullhorn Betty in the Vanity Fair article. He was just like, I'm not touching that. I don't want her showing up at my house with a bullhorn. He wouldn't even do that. That's how careful these mainstream media people are when it comes to YouTube. They don't even want to touch it. So for that to be something to where he's just like, I'm going to go and talk about this on News Nation. I'm going to address this because I'm disgusted. You had to have done some really fucked up shit. And you did.
People a heads up not to like drag him or whatever, because I'm going to just be open and honest about it. I'm not trying to be dramatic about anything, but.
Darksy, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Brian Enton was somebody that I trusted for my information, my true crime information. I thought he was credible. I thought for sure he fact checks on his cases, but how he handled that tells me he doesn't fact check.
He doesn't.
Because he didn't fact check with me.
How interesting that you're the only one saying this and you happen to be the person he called out. How interesting. What a fucking coinky dink. How fascinating that you are literally the one person that he called out, and you are literally the only one criticizing him for it.
So the fact that he just ran with all that without fact checking is going to make me doubt his stories. When he comes out with a story on the cases, I'm going to doubt it because I know he doesn't fact check. So that he disappointed me so freaking much.
Not only that, but then the email. So yeah, I don't know if you're interested.
Well, that part, but you're going to go.
You're pissed because you lost thousands of subs, and you lost thousands of subs not because Brian Enton called you out, because you did something that merited Brian Enton calling you out. That's accountability that you are clearly not taking. Here you are blaming Brian Enton for your dumb bullshit. That's why people are mad at you. That's why people don't like you. That's why people say that you're not credible. Now, I've been calling out your lack of credibility since the Kylie Rodney thing. Apparently, it goes back as far as the Watts case. But the reason why Brian Enton called you out is because you did something that fucked up.
I'll get it to that on my channel. Yeah.
Yeah, Julia, you made you brought it when you brought that in that way last week. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it like that. Wow, that's just messed up.
Slimy.
Yes, it is. And what was I gonna say? Wait, I had one more thing to say. Shoot. Yeah, so oh yeah, and I didn't double check it, but I heard after he caused the damage, after it was done, after everybody's not going to go rewatch his edited version, after he put out misinformation, probably to cover his butts, somebody told me he edited out some of the misinformation, but the damage is already done. Do you think people are going to rewatch your edited version? Everybody already saw the original version. That's very freaking...
Let me tell you guys something real quick, people. If I see something in chat that even resembles a threat towards anyone, you're out of here. Now, because I just timed somebody out because of the fact that it resembled something, you get a pass with just a timeout for now. But you will be booted from here permanently if you even think that you're comfortable enough to threaten someone in my chat. That shit doesn't fly here. I do not abide by that shit. And I want to make that abundantly clear. Take that shit down the road.
You're responsible. So the fact is you know what I'm saying? That just shows you he did have misinformation. So you could believe him or believe me, but he edited it out because he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is he should have fact checked before he freaking broadcast to thousands of people. You know,
millions.
It's messed up.
Millions.
I don't even know if he edited out I was just told he edited out some of the misinformation, but that was after the fact. Like I said, you watch a video, who's gonna rewatch
it later? Yeah.
Rewatch it later. So it's just messed up. It's messed up.
So this is all so far what we're hearing is everything's Brian Enton's fault. And nothing but lies. Right? Okay. Matt Bond, what's up, homie? Been a long time, buddy. Her moral compass is as accurate as Jack Sparrow's. Right. And Jack Sparrow is a rum connoisseur. I wonder what her excuse is. But thanks, Matt Bond. Appreciate it, buddy.
And even well, I'm not even gonna say anything else, but yeah, so yeah, guys, so look for that maybe this weekend. And then Juliet,
I just wanted to clarify what actually happened, and that I personally,
I mean, all she's doing is proving everyone right. That's all she's doing here, is proving everyone right about her character. Brian Enton cost me a bunch of subs, and now I'm going to go after him and get him back. I went and dug up a bunch of dirt on Brian Enton. I mean, why don't you just own the fact that you suck? Like, seriously, just own the fact that you fucking suck. Revamp your fucking channel. But see, she's incapable of that because, again, she's not taking any accountability. She does not believe that she did anything wrong. She thinks that just because it's part of a case, that she didn't do anything disrespectful to the family or Gannon's memory. She doesn't believe that because she doesn't have respect for victims or their families. We know this. We've known this since the Kylie Rodney case. Some of you since the Chris Watts case. We know this. I mean, so to expect her to revamp her channel and be more respectful is an impossibility because she doesn't have that respect. She doesn't know how to exercise something that she doesn't have. Like, if she was born without legs, we can't expect her to fucking run a marathon, can we?
and I'm not speaking for both of us, I'm speaking for myself. I'm personally confused as to why that backlash happened. I mean, I'm not, because I get how the internet works, and but it's just a lot of it isn't genuine, and I kind of want. I'm ideally hoping someone who really does, at this point, still find it to be your actions to be an outrage, a complete outrage.
They're so confused. They're so.
I'm retarded?
They're very upset over. I would love to talk to someone about that and maybe have them come up on my channel, because I'm not seeing, and I'm saying that because I'm not seeing it anymore.
Like,
I
even
think that
even her guest is self-serving and just trying to plug her own shit. Like, how desperate are you to get views on your channel if you're trying to use Zav Girl's platform to shill it? How desperate are you? Dude, I wouldn't want to fucking touch that shit. I'd be like, dude, you are fucking, you are a YouTube leper. Like, smallpox, the YouTube equivalent to smallpox incarnate. Thank you so much, Jennifer Ray. If Brian Enton gave misinformation, why doesn't she call him up and accept the invite to go on the show and tell her truth? She's full of it. That's an excellent point, because if I remember correctly, I remember Brian Enton saying that she's welcome to explain herself to his viewers. And if you think so much that if you believe in what you did was so right and you didn't do anything wrong, why not just defend it? Why not? Dude, I would be everywhere. Dude, when I do something and I know and I feel in my heart that I'm right, I'll say that shit anywhere to anyone. I don't give a shit, because I have conviction behind what I say and what I do. People are like, you called a woman a cunt and yelled at her. Well, she's a fucking racist piece of shit, and I feel perfectly justified in doing so. And I would do it again. I'll do it again right now. She's a racist fucking cunt. Heels in the air is a racist cunt. I have no bones about that. I have no problem saying that. Because I believe that that she merits being called a racist cunt. Plain and simple. Whether you feel offended by that or not my problem. But that's the truth. It's the fucking truth. And you wouldn't care if you got backlash for it. I don't care that I get backlash for it because I have conviction behind that. I believe that I am correct in saying that. So, and I'll say that on anyone's panel. Anyone's. Don't care. Like, if she's so, I mean, why not? If she thinks that she's so right, dude, I would jump to the chance to be on News Nation, especially if she's such a fucking grifter, which we know she is, for the chance to like plug her channel. Why not? Why not present your case to all of those viewers, the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, that watch Brian Enton? Why not just go up there and promote yourself? Back yourself up. But you won't, because you're a coward and you know what you did was fucked up.
The people who were outraged or getting the wrong information. There were some people who were like, oh, I don't know if you should have done that or not, which I think is a totally valid response. But like, that's it. That's the extent of it. Beyond that, I think that people either got the wrong information and that's why they were outraged, or they're not actually outraged, including some other creators too. Because I was just talking to someone in chat who said I was surprised at the reactions of the other true crime creators. And yeah, so am I, because.
And we know, because there are, and I want to get all into this, but there's right now, and there's probably way more, there's 3 channels, and there was 4. One took them down the day my apology video went up. This person took his video down, but there's still 3 up, and there's probably more because I didn't go searching. 3 people that have the exact same photos up on YouTube as we speak right now. Respectable freaking channel.
Wrong. I wasn't able to really emphasize on this in Nerd Report's chat today. But I can now. What she's talking about are people who covered the Gannon Stauch or the Letitia Stauch trial. What she's talking about is people covering that trial, and that footage from the trial is still up where they showed the autopsy photos. Now, granted, what you have to understand is there was no news stations there. There were no news cameras there. It was all like a webinar type situation there. So you could barely see what was on screen in the first place. You could hardly see it. And secondly, there was an expert witness, a medical examiner, an expert witness who was going over the details of the evidence that they found in order to convict his murderer. That is a completely different situation. Now, me personally, I covered the trial, but I took the camera, I took the visual off and just left the audio because A, I didn't feel it necessary to show that, and B, I didn't want to see it. Personally, I didn't want to see it. But I'm not faulting YouTube creators for showing this as it was as evidence, because a couple of YouTube creators did this. They showed what was on the screen and blah, 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 but you could barely see it. You could barely see it. So if it was, like I said, me personally, I did not feel comfortable showing that because I didn't find it necessary, but I could see how someone could listen to a medical examiner, an expert witness, and see what this person is testifying to in order to understand the case better. That is a completely different story. What she did was basically exploit this poor boy's remains because she did not have a medical examiner or a mortician or anybody in any related field whatsoever to explain what you were looking at. She was basically showing this poor boy's his decomposing body. Excuse me, I'm going to be a little graphic here. but she showed his decomposing body with maggots and was basically like, ooh, gross, or ooh, interesting, with no educated insight to add to it. Nothing to add to it. Nothing to make it understand, make the viewer understand better what they were looking at. That is a completely different story. That is a completely different situation. You cannot compare people who streamed the trial while an expert witness was testifying to what was being shown to what she did. You cannot compare. She charged $3 a head for people to watch and look at these photos as if it's somehow entertainment.
Channels and not one freaking word about them. And I don't care. I'm going to get on to this because the photos that I had were not some special photos. They were the photos they showed at the trial.
Right.
And I would love to be able to compare. I would love to be able to take these channels.
Nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing that. What we're arguing is the purpose for which you showed those photos. You showed them to make money. And you showed them to simply exploit that child's remains. When the least any of us can do after Letitia is convicted is let this mother and this father and anybody else who loved Gannon remember him for who he was. And now you went and you put that shit up and that shit got leaked all over Reddit. Exactly, Shelly Babes. People are spreading those photos for their own sick reasons. And you didn't think about that because you don't care. You did not engage with empathy. You did not consider how this could affect their loved ones, his loved ones. Simple. Right. Now it's the prosecutor's fault for showing autopsy photos, turning expert testimony. Get real. Get real.
That have them up on YouTube right now and compare my photos to them to show you that they're exact same. But I can't do that now, can I? I can't. But I would love to because they're the exact same ones. And yet no backlash.
Wait.
And they were trying to destroy me like everybody. I have the worst reputation. And I would love to be able to compare. And I don't care. I'm going to get on to this because the photos that I had were not some special photos. They were the photos they showed at the trial. And I would love to be able to compare. I would love to be able to take these channels that have them up on YouTube right now and compare my photos to them to show you that they're exact same. But I can't do that now, can I? I can't. But I would love to because they're the.
So you want to show the photos again? I mean, that's what I just fucking heard. Unless I'm going deaf or I have selective hearing, but I'm hearing you saying, I'm basically saying I would love to show those photos again, but I can't because of all the scrutiny I got. So here you are basically saying that you would love to show those photos again and compare them to the other YouTube creators so you could throw other people under the bus and drag them down with you. How are we supposed to believe that that apology video was genuine after saying something like that exactly? How do you expect us to believe that that apology video was genuine in the slightest bit?
They're the exact same ones. And yet no backlash. And they were trying to destroy me like everybody. I have the worst reputation. And nobody's saying a word about them.
Oh, God.
I try to make it a little bit more private because it's a little bit more sensitive information, right? Something that maybe is not okay for YouTube because there are kids on there. So I thought, you know what? I don't think this is YouTube content. So I'm going to be a little bit more responsible and put it on my Patreon. That's all there is to it. It's not that, you're trying to make $3. It was.
See, you know why we don't believe that? Because you didn't set it to the lowest tier. Because I understand that there's a minimum. And I understand that there is certain content that YouTube will flag you for, but Patreon won't. So I understand putting it on Patreon if it's something that YouTube deems to be a little too controversial or graphic. That happens. Not a big deal. But you're lying, because if that was the reason for you doing so, you would have set it to the very lowest possible tier. You set it triple the amount of the lowest possible tier. So there goes that bullshit lie right there.
It was on my Patreon, which costs $3 to be a member. And then you get all the videos on it. It wasn't anything specific for that video. $3, you get all the videos on my Patreon. And that was one of the videos that was on my Patreon. I just tried to, number one, I didn't think it was appropriate for YouTube. I didn't even think it would be allowed on YouTube. Isn't that what Patreon is for? Isn't that what Patreon is for? It's for
No. Patreon is for giving your viewers exclusive content. That's what it's for. I just deleted the Patreon server on my Discord. Like, I just got rid of it because I have not put up Patreon content in like a year. I mean, if I were to, I mean, I just can't think of anything. I'm having a creative brain fart when it comes to coming up with ideas for Patreon content. So I just haven't done it. But no, Patreon is not for that. It can be used for that. It can be used to put content on there that YouTube will flag and cost you ad revenue. Of course, sure. And nobody's faulting you for making money. Everyone makes money on YouTube. That's the whole point. That's the whole point behind monetizing your channel. Everybody makes money on YouTube. Nobody's faulting you for making money on YouTube. What we're faulting you for is exploiting the memory of a murdered 11-year-old boy. And guess what? Your gripe is with Patreon, because if you think that that's what Patreon's for, why did they take down your Patreon account? Why did they delete it? Why do you no longer have a Patreon account? If that's what Patreon is for. Interesting.
material that isn't appropriate for YouTube, you're supposed to be able to do it on Patreon because it's a personal thing. And it's like a lot of people, like a lot of true crime and stuff that YouTube won't let, they put it on Patreon. Why was that bad that I was actually a little bit more responsible with it?
Yeah. Steel Ribbon said, sorry. Yep. Now there's bored housewives trying to influence legislation into Congress. I'm with you on the bored housewives thing. I have a lot to say about that too.
But I swear it had nothing to do with making more money. Oh, I'm going to make
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
Charged more if you were really, that's what it was about.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with it. I didn't think it was.
It had nothing to do with making money.
I didn't think it would even be acceptable on YouTube.
Right.
Because I didn't even realize till after that people had it on YouTube. So I didn't even think it was going to be acceptable, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And it's crazy that like other people have done the same thing before you, and there was no backlash.
Yeah,
and then you get other YouTube true crime creators who know that other people have done the same thing with no backlash, coming out and saying, "Oh, she should have known better." Like, how would you have known better?
What the fuck are you talking about?
How would you have known better if literally other people have done it, and everyone seemed okay with it when they did it? You'd have to be psychic to know better.
I know.
What?
Do you think? Yeah, you guys think I would like? Come on, I didn't. Like, I thought it was a part of the cases. We always.
It is.
Yeah.
I still say. I know. I'm not speaking on behalf of you, but
I guess.
No, dude. Unbelievable. That's just mind blowing right there. It's mind blowing.
You'd have to be psychic to know better.
I know. Do you think?
No, you would not have to be psychic to know better. You would have to simply have common sense and some empathy. Simple. It's not about being psychic. So I guess everyone else who covered the Gannon Stout case were psychic. Wow. fucking moron. No, dude. Everybody fucking had common sense and empathy. You were the only asshole to do it, and that's why you were the only asshole to be called out for it. Doesn't take a psychic to have common fucking sense or to have a little empathy towards the loved ones of a victim or the memory of a child. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, you guys think I would, like, come on, I didn't. Like, I thought it was a part of the cases. We always.
It is.
Yeah.
I still say
It doesn't matter if it was a part of the case. It doesn't matter. Just because it was part of the case doesn't mean that you get this free reign to fucking put out this bullshit. There was nothing of educational value by showing those pictures. That is the entire point behind everybody's outrage. That is the entire point behind everyone's outrage, is that you just didn't fucking care. That was that. If you had now, here's the thing is, I don't think I would be defending her, but she would have a better argument if she had put behind a paywall, gotten an actual licensed medical examiner to actually walk her viewers through what she was looking at and what she was showing. If she had a licensed medical examiner to explain this stuff, then she would have a better argument. I still think it's fucked up and unnecessary because we already had that explanation at the trial. So it would have just been more exploitation. But she would have at least had she would have had at least a better argument about it.
I know. I'm not speaking on behalf of you, but
I guess I didn't know the bound. Now I'm learning the lines. I didn't know the line there because it was okay. You know what I'm saying?
It was okay. Yeah, until suddenly it isn't. And everyone says you should have known that it wasn't okay. But meanwhile, it was okay.
Okay. See, that is an entire crock of bullshit. Because people in her chat, when she announced that she was going to do this, because she announced it prior, she told her chat that she was going to do this, and her own chat begged her not to. People in her own chat were like, don't do that. Please don't do that. She was warned. She was warned by loyal supporters who were simply trying to protect her. And then she lashed out at them. Oh, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with that. Blah, blah, blah. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Haley Hopes. I'm guessing Zav decided to not attend the sensitivity trip. Oh my God. Yeah, good call. Great observation there.
It was okay up until that point. Up until everyone decided it wasn't. Like, it's really, really crazy. Anyway.
But yeah, it definitely, it's the people, and all the photos say People's Exhibit, and just like when Michael Allen gets up there and insinuates that I got it. Well, Michael, I got it from Colorado. That's another thing. It came from Colorado. I have the emails to prove it. It wasn't from Florida. It's from the trial record. It was the court trial record.
And for those of you who don't know, now she's lashing out at Michael Allen, right? Now she's not lashing out at Michael Allen, who is the prosecutor in the Letitia Stout trial. And he even called her out on News Nation with Brian Etten, saying, this is dead wrong for her to do this. This is not okay. You got all the information from the trial. There was no logical or scrupulous reason why you would share those photos, why you would request them, and why you would share them. There is none. And now she's attacking the prosecutor in the Letitia Stout trial. Dude, you know you did some fucked up shit when that guy personally calls you out on television.
Record.
Yeah, and then also, like, anyone, the thing is, like, for both of us, and I will speak on behalf of both of us at this point, like, anyone who was like, I don't know if you should have done that, or I'm not that big on autopsy photos, or maybe autopsy photos are okay, but not of a kid. All of that stuff, we both were like, oh, 100% legit. like willing to listen and be like, oh, maybe we're seeing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like those responses are fine. Like it should be a conversation that's had, you know, like should this, are we gonna, if everyone was like, you know what, we could talk about cases on YouTube at the true crime community or whatever, but let's all stay away from autopsy photos. Like I personally wouldn't agree with that, but I'd be like, okay, if enough people are like, yeah, let's have that be where we draw the line, then 100%, yeah. But do you see what I mean? Like the difference, a genuine response to this where they disagree with it sounds completely different than all of these other responses you've been getting, because it's not about the autopsy photos for those people.
It's not. And can I also say, everybody said, oh,
it's absolutely about the autopsy photos. Don't try to gaslight the whole fucking world. It's absolutely about the autopsy photos. It's 100% about the fact that you lacked any respect for this child's memory or his family's memory that they're trying to maintain. It's absolutely about that. Don't try to sit there and make us all like we're just throwing this blind rage at you for no reason. Bullshit. Everyone here is pissed off for a very good reason. The fact that you have the audacity to sit there and act like the whole world is against you for no good reason is fucking incredibly telling.
Everybody tried to tell you not to do it. That's a lie. It wasn't until after
bullshit
and all of her people.
Bullshit. Queen Bee's chat. It was in before she even did it. There were people from Queen Bee's chat that were in her chat that asked her kindly, please don't do that. I saw it myself. This happened prior to her showing those photos on her Patreon and posting them on her Patreon because she plugged the Patreon. She shilled her Patreon for that reason because she thought, oh my God, I went and requested these photos. I paid for them. So I want to make sure that I get my money's worth for requesting these photos. She's like, it's not, the photos just kind of came with it and blah, blah, blah. You specifically said that you would be showing those photos specifically before you even did it. And people in your chat asked you to not do it. So stop with the fucking lying.
People want to attack me.
No
I
one
want to tell you, if you look at my lives leading up to it, I probably at least over a week mention it on a few lives, a few videos, feeling you guys out. Would anybody be interested in the autopsy photos? What do you guys think? I'm thinking about releasing them. Would anybody be interested? Who would be?
Okay, so she's just contradicting herself right now. She just said it wasn't until after that she posted it that people asked her not to do it. And now she's saying, yes, I asked people, what do you think about showing the autopsy photos? She's admitting it right now. Flip-flopping within the same minute.
Be interested. Not one single person said, Tiff, don't do it. It's a bad
bullshit.
idea.
I watched it.
Only people said
bullshit. I watched it happen.
Some people didn't say anything, but the people that did respond said, yeah, I'm interested. Hey, I'm interested. Yeah, I do it. So that's a freaking lie. Nobody said that. And you can go back to my freaking live streams on the live chat and look when I mentioned it. And I was trying to see, like, hey, who would be interested? Is this something you guys are interested in? Like, let me know. Yeah, Tiff. Yeah. Bam. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just so
there's a lot of crazy.
When I hear live people like, they told you not to do it. That was not until after it was already up and Queen Bee sent her people.
Bullshit. It was before.
So that's a lie. It's a freaking lie. Anyway, yeah. What are you laughing at, Julia?
I'm just laughing at the absurdity of it. Like like I'm just seeing it from a more of an outside perspective. Like another YouTuber sending people to do this is just sad. It's sad. It is sad. It's one of those things where it's like I can't stand these people, but at the same time, it's like it's so sad that part of me does feel bad. Like, what are their lives like that they feel the need to do this? You know what I mean? To send people after.
Who the fuck are you to talk about what people's lives are like, to criticize you for that shit when you fucking spent so many days in a row talking about Kylie Rodney for like 9 fucking hours straight, trying to find out who's this kid, trying to find out information on minors. Who the fuck are you to talk about what people's lives are like when this is what you did? Thank you, Nay. I appreciate that. Why the fuck didn't anyone else share them when they mistakenly received them as part of the court file? Z is grossly unintelligent and ignorant. Agreed.
After someone for no reason? Like, what are you
for no reason
getting out of that?
Go after somebody for no reason. Going after someone for no reason, she says. Okay.
You guys know, like, everybody here, thank you. Because it's like, if anybody even knows me, they know I didn't have, like, they know, like, I just get so into cases. They know that there was nothing, like, no malicious intent, nothing. Like, I was just dug into this case. I really.
Dude, there's something seriously fucking wrong with you when you don't even know when you have malicious intent. When you have no idea what the nature of your own actions are. There's something seriously fucking wrong with you. You need more than sensitivity training. You need a fucking round-the-clock team of psychiatrists. Seriously. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, Nicole B, welcome to the team.
Really got into this case.
Nicole B is a moderator for Dietz and for Burden of Proof. And so I am going to exploit her services for this channel right now. So yeah, big round of applause for Nicole B. Welcome to the team. We appreciate you.
Case, you know, and I asked you guys, and people wanted to see it. So
someone I saw. We should wrap this up before we get into it. But I did see like one comment that I was gonna, if I could. I know I screenshotted it to use it in my video, but if I can find it again, I will. But it was just one like rando who commented on your apology video and summed it up perfectly by just saying, like, I think they said, I thought true crime equals autopsy.
Yeah, real quick. Leslie Kohler, I missed this. Gifted 5 memberships. So congrats to I'm a Seahorse, Haley Hopes, Rose, Amber Love Reigns, True Crime Dime. All right, congrats, guys. Welcome to the membership. Even if you're here already, welcome again. Appreciate that.
Autopsy photos. No, like that was it.
Wait. They said it as a joke, or what do you mean?
No, they were saying like they didn't get it at all. Like they thought autopsy photos was like part of it. Like, but they asked just so like innocently and like straightforward, and just like a short little. All the other comments were really long.
I mean, I'm going to explain this over and over again because they don't seem to fucking get it. Are autopsy photos evidence in a case? For sure. But seeing as you're not an investigator, seeing as none of us are investigators, and seeing as you didn't add any insight, professional insight from anyone that was qualified to walk you through those autopsy photos, then what you did was just gross. You basically put an episode of Faces of Death in the worst possible way behind a Patreon paywall. That's all you did.
Really long. That one was just like, I thought true crime equals autopsy photos, no? Or something like that. And I was like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, it got so big. My nephews were watching that Penguin guy. They saw it. I just heard yesterday, my nephew said that basically my brother's ex-wife is all mad at me because she doesn't, she's like hearing these headlines, seeing what these people are saying. They're making me out to be this horrible, sick monster. So she's like mad at me because she hasn't got to hear the truth yet. And so but Casey,
I mean, and I don't even think she's a horrible, sick monster. I just think that she is a complete and utter ignorant fucking asshole. I mean, simple. I think she is an ignorant fucking asshole. Period. She didn't care. She simply didn't care. I don't think that she's this horrible. I think she's too stupid to be a fucking monster. Like, she's no Critical K. You know what I mean? Like, she's just a fucking jackass.
Case and I was like, did Case and Cam explain it? Because I had to explain this to my nephews because it's all over YouTube. Like, and my nephew Cam keeps saying, they keep saying you're an evil monster. He kept repeating that. It's like, True Crime Investigates. Yes, we should do that.
That's interesting. I wonder how she would feel if, God forbid, something happened to one of her nephews and some shithead YouTuber decided to show her nephew's autopsy photos behind a paywall with no educated insight to explain it, just for content. I wonder how she would feel about that. And I think that that's a legitimate question. I hope to God that never happens. But I can't help but wonder, how would she feel about that?
Sorry, I'm just seeing you now. I got a text from Missy like a while ago. Then when I saw it, then I didn't see you. And then, okay. So I'm glad I got to say hi to you. Thanks for coming. So yeah, did I cut you off, Juliet?
I don't know. I was just saying we should wrap it up.
Yeah, we should. But look for Juliet's video, because
you
she's
should definitely quit while you're behind.
Gonna be a lot better at articulating everything.
I just basically want to show what actually happened, because a lot of you guys don't know. So that's all it is. It's not going to be anything too exciting.
Yeah, and thank you guys. And I know, like, a lot of the supporters, like, I had to keep like telling myself, and Juliet had to keep reminding me, like, it's like you guys, like, it was like, for some reason I was only seeing the negative because they were all at the top of the comments and stuff, and it just looked like overwhelmingly like, oh my God, it was overwhelming. And then I get emails where people are like, we want to stick up for you, but we're getting bashed in the comments, like you can't even say anything because they're getting
See, I love comments like this. I love comments like this. Christine Rains is saying, nobody's perfect, including all of you pitchforkers, and with your torches and pitchforks. Well, no, you're right. Nobody's perfect, but everyone but her had enough fucking empathy and common sense to not do what she did. You know what I mean? It's not a question of whether or not everybody's perfect or not. What she did was just plain fucked up. But what makes it suck that much worse is that here she is, after making a bullshit apology video, proving that the apology was bullshit. She's doubling down, tripling down. She's backing herself up and saying that she did nothing wrong. She's not taking any accountability. So does that apply, that statement, in this particular case? Nobody's perfect. Y'all shouldn't throw stones. Bullshit. Absolutely. She deserves all the scrutiny that she's getting. She deserves every bit of it.
It's just out of control. But anyway, yeah, all right. All Dragonfly, but thank you guys. This live was like better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, you guys are seriously the best.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even put it into
See,
words.
that's the thing.
We were ready.
That's the thing. That live went well, and she didn't have a bunch of trolls, because the people who don't like her, okay, the people who don't like her simply unsubscribed. They simply put her in their rearview mirror. That's what happened. That's why she's not getting all the shit and all the hate, because decent people have turned on her. Decent people with enough class and sense just turned their backs on her. Said, I'm not interested in a fucking thing this bitch is saying ever again. That's all that happened. I'm not going to give her any views. I'm just going to put her in my rearview mirror and I'm done with her. Because the kind of people that she pissed off are sensible, kind, empathetic people.
Ready to get attacked. Like, I thought I was going to get attacked. Like, I was ready. I was like all nervous. I was like, okay, let's get ready to get attacked, but I just have to do it sometime. And I'm like pleasantly surprised that you guys are all here, you know?
She
So
has
thank you.
she has no concept of decency. She's surprised that she wasn't attacked because she has no concept of decency.
And saying such kind things. Like, it's
Yeah.
really, you guys are so great. You really are.
Yeah, you really are.
It means a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me go over. Okay, so the poll real quick before I close this out. So yes, 33 said she was insane, and 67 said no. Okay. All right, guys. Well, but yeah, me and Julie, do you think we could try to figure out how to do a live? Because I think it would be like, what if you go up there with me and we like, from next weekend?
I don't know if you're going to get anyone who isn't a crazy person who is still at this point after knowing.
Because anybody who criticizes her for what she did is a crazy person.
Like, all the stuff that wasn't true isn't true is still going to really feel strongly enough to really argue against you and what you did. And do you know what I mean?
So you don't think
those
should
people
do it?
exist anymore. I think there's people who are full of crap, who are gonna they just want the drama. And I think the people who really disagreed with what you did are normal people who are over it because you apologize, the video's down, and it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
You know what
I mean? But everything that was just said null and voids that apology altogether. Totally just dismisses any validity to that apology video. Because here you are making excuses for what you did and not taking any accountability for it. And everybody who criticized you apparently is crazy. And Brian Enton is a liar. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those people aren't going to want to come up and like argue why you should not have a channel anymore or anything like that, because they probably don't feel that way, because it's just the problem is fixed.
What?
Gave them content for a couple weeks.
The problem is fixed. Really? The problem is fixed? Tell that to Landon Hyatt. Tell that to Albert Stauk, that the problem is fixed. Say that shit to them with a straight face. I dare you. The problem is fixed.
As they went on live every day talking about it, like, oh,
the creators, you mean?
That means that makes it all better. Just like bringing all this. Yeah. What's that?
The creators you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah. All the creators that did videos about it over every night, talking about it for day after day. But
knowing, and then keep in mind, the creators, the true crime creators, knew that this was something that's been done before because they've been doing this for a while. And they still talked about how horrible it is. And
it was a personal attack. It was started a personal attack by We Know What You Know. It was a personal thing because, and then I also wanted to address the whole Kylie, because there's
lady, nobody gives a fuck about you on a personal level, dude, except the fucking moron that's on panel with you. Nobody gives a fuck about you on a personal level. None of this is personal. To me, you're a drop in the bucket of shitty, nefarious YouTube grifters. You're just another fucking. You're another block on the Jenga stack. You're nothing. You're nothing. Nobody takes this personally. The only people that take this personally and should are Gannon's loved ones. Those are the people who have earned the right to take this personally, to take what you did personally. Nobody here takes this personally. I don't take it personally.
people that just say, oh, what she did with Kylie, I want to talk about that because people are lumping me doing stuff that I didn't do with Kylie. And that's another thing I want to clear up on the video next weekend, because I have people with the whole Kylie thing from both sides. I have the people that wanted me to stop talking about it. And
Oh, I can't wait for this shit.
the people that were mad that I stopped talking about it. And I got attacked from both angles on the Kylie thing. But I want to talk about that too, because that got brought up a lot. Well, this is not their first time. Look what she did with Kylie. And then they're falsely saying that I did stuff that, if you guys were there through the whole thing, you'll know that I didn't do some of the stuff that they're saying.
Dude, I covered it.
But I hate it because people
covered it. I sat there and watched your fucking dumbass sit there and go through video of this party and go, I want to know his name. I want to know who that is right there. That person looks suspicious to me. I want to know who they are. I watched you do it. What the fuck are you talking about? You did this shit for hours and hours and hours on end, for days, for weeks. And you built your channel off of the backs of Ryan Upchurch and off of Jared from AWP. The two other people besides you who handled the Kylie Rodney case in the worst possible fucking way. So, like, let's get real here.
People that weren't there, they're hearing that and they're thinking, oh, she did this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with, let me just say it real quick. I never, not once, did I ever say or insinuate Kylie didn't exist. I did the opposite and said Ryan was wrong.
No, you kissed his ass while he was on panel with you. And what you did was you insinuated that people who cared about Kylie were guilty of foul play and a conspiracy to murder her. That is what you did. And everyone saw you do it. And the only reason you stopped talking about it was because it finally was deemed an accident. And there's other idiots who haven't stopped talking about it. But nobody's saying that anybody besides Cuck Church and his dumbass Cuck squad that she didn't exist. Nobody's saying that anybody besides them did that. We're saying that you insinuated and helped perpetuate a narrative that people who loved Kylie, kids who loved Kylie, conspired to murder her and dispose of her body. That is exactly what you did for weeks and weeks. We all saw it. We all heard you. So stop it.
I purposely did tribute showing young pictures of Kylie because he said there's no Kylie pictures because there's barely any Kylie pictures. So that next day after he said that, I did this big tribute with tons of Kylie pictures with her young and all different ages and said he was wrong. Just because you have a guest that thinks something does not mean that means that I say it, that I take on that opinion. And somehow people are still saying, oh, you said he didn't exist. I never said that. I said he was wrong.
That was after the fact. Like, Ryan didn't say that Kylie didn't exist until way later. He started off saying that the family had something to do with it. He started off with conspiracy theories that Ikadmel and Zanime had something to do with it. He was spouting conspiracy theories that the cops were covering it up. And you had him on your panel perpetuating this and loving it because you were getting a shit ton of views. And because Ryan Upchurch was going on his channel, blasting your name and praising you. And that's why you kept going with it. So don't sit here and act like, oh, well, I disagreed with Ryan. Yeah, okay. That's what it took for him to go too far, was to say that Kylie didn't exist. That's what it took. Not the fact that he defamed YouTubers, innocent people who were simply trying to keep her face and name out there. You don't sit here and act all innocent like I disagreed with Ryan Upchurch. You're sitting here throwing Ryan Upchurch under the bus because he said something that was way too outrageous You're forgetting all of the other outrageous shit he said before that, because he said a bunch of outrageous shit prior to that. But you're sitting here trying to get looking for some sort of fucking recognition and a pat on the back and an atta girl for drawing the line at him saying that she didn't exist. Bullshit.
Wrong. Kylie exists. There's pictures. There's tons of pictures of her, and I found them. I went out and found
She's so outraged
them to show that she exists. So I never, ever even insinuated she didn't exist. So that is a freaking lie. Just because I could respect somebody and support somebody and even like be friends and have them up, and that means that I have to, that means you agree with everything they say. That's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. I don't have to be a jerk and treat.
That's irrelevant. There are people who I have collaborated with. There are people who I am friends with behind the scenes, and we disagree all the time. That's not, nobody's faulting you for that. Nobody's calling you out for that. You're taking something and making it what it's something that it's not. It's not. It has nothing to do with that. Nobody is sitting here faulting you for disagreeing with Ryan at the last minute. Like, we know we're all common sense people here. We understand that everybody who's an adult, can disagree with each other. That's absolutely a thing. But that's irrelevant to what's going on. It's irrelevant to what's happening and what you're being called out on. You enabled Ryan Upchurch on your channel. You enabled Jared from Adventures with Purpose when he said that there was foul play and that he had proof of it. Because that happened on your panel. Yet that proof never came out, did it? Because as long as people were getting memberships to AWP's channel, as long as people were getting memberships, as long as they were getting views on their little makeshift pilot reality show episode, and trying to use the sensationalism of Kylie Rodney's disappearance to promote themselves, you perpetuated that. That's what you're being called out on when it comes to the Kylie Rodney case. Nobody's sitting here saying that you agreed with Ryan about him being, and those people are idiots if anybody says that. But nobody here in my chat is calling you out on that. We're calling you out on what you did prior to Ryan saying that Kylie wasn't real. You had Jared on your panel accusing innocent people of a murder that never took place, and you made money off of it. Period.
And treat somebody like crap if I disagree with them. That's just not how life works.
That's a big thing that's happening all over the internet now. I know Joe Rogan got massive shit for having people up on his podcast that everyone kept saying like, you shouldn't have this person on because they're wrong, and he was like, well, so let them be wrong and then we'll talk.
You can't compare yourself to Joe Rogan, bro. Like, seriously. Like, the fact that you have the audacity to compare this channel to Joe Rogan, it just shows how fucking delusional and stupid you are. Like, Joe Rogan got shit from people he got shit for having somebody who was a doctor and was giving his opinions on things related to COVID. And he got scrutiny for it. That's not the same thing. He had a credible person on his panel, on his show. He had a credible person on there to discuss things, and it's not necessarily his opinion. Just because somebody has somebody on their panel does not mean that they have the same opinions. Nobody's sitting here trashing you for that. It's the fact that you perpetuated the rumors that there was a conspiracy in Kylie Rodney's death.
talk about. Think about what a podcast is too. You kind of want to disagree with the person, right? Or else it's going to be boring.
Yeah.
Like that was a huge thing. I don't know if you know about that because you don't really follow that.
Wait, say that again. Wait. Say that real quick again. I'm sorry. I was reading a comment. Joe Rogan and who?
Joe Rogan, who has like the biggest podcast ever, I think, at this point. He was getting a ton of shit for letting people. He basically lets, whoever on his podcast, including people that he disagrees with.
He doesn't just let whoever
because that's
on
how
his
it should
podcast.
be. And like most or a lot of people feel that way. And then they were trying to cancel him and all of this stuff because some people really feel like you shouldn't give a platform, in quotes, to people who are wrong. But it's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's, that's everywhere.
Wow.
But let's wrap this up.
Okay.
For
interesting.
Okay, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank
you guys
you,
were
everyone.
awesome. It made I feel like a big weight's been lifted off my chest because I've been just so nervous to come back.
I love it.
Like, oh my God.
A big weight's been lifted off her chest for making excuses. for basically making her apology complete and null and void. But she feels a weight has been lifted off her chest. Fuck out of here.
This is one of the hardest things I've been through a lot of hard things, and this is up there as one of the harder things that I've been through in my life. So because this is my living, this is my job, this is like huge, you know what I'm saying? My reputation.
Wow. And she goes full bullhorn Betty right there.
Line means a lot when that's what you do for a job. You know what I'm saying? And now,
you can't
lose
afford
that.
To just be like, oh, screw
yeah. So so it was like, yeah, it's a big deal. It really is. So, but so you guys, thank you.
Maybe do your job
I'll
more
see
carefully.
You guys. Hopefully, I might do a couple lives this week. But the live that talking about it, I want to do it next week. So,
fucking terrible, dude. God damn, that woman sucks. I mean, people, let's just call this what it is. I mean, right there, that was about as close to a retraction of an apology that you can get. She sat up there, she made more excuses, and she's not sorry for anything. She's just said that she doesn't believe that anything that she did was wrong. She doesn't believe that she did anything wrong at all. How could that apology mean anything when she, after the fact of making this video, this apology video, sit up there and say, I didn't do anything wrong and everyone else is crazy and Brian Enton is a liar? I mean, it's incredible, dude. It's fucking astounding. Hold on a second. Let's after listening to what we just listened to right now, let's watch this one more time. Because the fact that she still has this up is amazing to me.
Hi, everyone. If you're listening to this, then you likely know about the last few days. I want to apologize to everyone I've hurt, but especially Cannon's family. I've been doing some major soul searching and reflecting. There are many trying to define my motivations. And while I'm not looking for forgiveness or trying to make excuses, I do hope to provide additional context that has not been made clear. I have followed the Letitia Stout case closely, and it was actually during the trial that I made the official records request.
See right there, when you call it the Letitia Stout case, now the trial is a different story. She's the one on trial, so you refer to it as the Letitia Stout trial. But right there, that shows what kind of a true crime creator she is. She does not care about victims because it is referred to and always referred to as the Gannon Stout case because it's about Gannon. He is the victim in this situation. It is not the Letitia Stout case. I refuse to let that be the where the attention goes to. I refuse. I mean, unbelievable. Right there, like I said, people, you got to use your eyes. She is absolutely showing you what her focus is. She finds the sensationalism in the bad guy and not the empathy for the victim. That is something that you should always look for in a YouTube creator when they cover true crime cases. That is a very, very telling sign of what the nature of that YouTube creator is. Very telling.
And it was in El Paso County, Colorado. I requested all the video, audio, and written records. I made no request for autopsy photos. I wanted all trial records, but my main interests were interviews with Letitia. The autopsy photos just happened to be in the files. I spent time reviewing what I received so I could provide more info from the trial. I believe many of my images were already shown during the televised trial, and I saw the photos on other public YouTube channels that live streamed the trial and shared the evidence. I didn't think any of the images were new. These photos were already public, although the video I put together with the coroner's voice was my own creation. I chose to put the video on Patreon because of the sensitive nature of the evidence. Putting the evidence behind a paywall meant added security, and I naively thought they wouldn't be made public. The video I created with a voice from the coroner wasn't meant to be shared outside of Patreon, and I chose not to put the photos on YouTube, a public forum, where the views would have allowed me to make more money and the photos would be seen by more people. Because the video was placed behind a paywall, rumors about the images not being blurred or being different than what was shown in trial started to surface. No photos shows genitalia. I have made no jokes about the photos. I don't even cuss on my channel, and I would never allow derogatory remarks about a victim. I realized my intentions were not communicated well. My channel style is sort of me hanging out with friends and speaking off the cuff, and I did not articulate my reasons or think my decision through. At this time, my Patreon website has been shut down. I am not sharing any of the photos or video anywhere, although you can see the photos published on other popular channels. Nothing you see is from me, nor will ever be. To those who have supported me and followed my channel, and to the true crime community, I'm sorry I let you down. I cannot imagine the pain Gannon's family has gone through. My anger over what happened to Gannon is the reason I started following the case. I'm not this evil, heartless person like many are saying, but I'm also doing a lot of self-reflecting, and I'm looking into sensitivity training. I did not want to add to the family's loss with anything I said or shared about this case. And it will be a long time before I ever trust myself or my decisions again.
What a crock of
Gannon's
shit.
family, I have no words that can make this better. No one should have to ever go through what you guys have been through. I'm so very sorry for any pain that I've caused you.
Right.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. Let him know. Let her know, McGruber. All right. All right, guys. Anybody wants to call in, the number is on the screen right here. So I'm going to take a couple of calls before I wrap this up, because I'm sure some of you have thoughts. I'm sure you do, and rightfully so. Yeah, I know. Patreon totally canceled her.
Yeah, I know.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Jenny.
Hi, Ginny.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about Shannon Dodge Cow's case. This is so insane.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
You got to turn your
Jenny.
YouTube down.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. wanted to talk to you about. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It happens.
There's a situation going on in my own personal life, and I'm not trying to get real life on YouTube by any means, but I do watch these cases on YouTube, and it touches me. And to see these YouTubers doing this stuff online and get away with it just makes me absolutely sick. It's mind-boggling. I know that I can walk away from it anytime that I want to, but the thing that sits with me is I can't. These parents, these loved ones of these victims can't walk away.
Right. Right. And, the other communities on YouTube, they consider the true crime community just very morbid and very sick because, they think we're obsessed with death and blah, blah, blah. But truth is, I mean, this is a serious issue that takes place in our society. And, some of us just want to understand it better. And some of us want to put the information out there and the more attention you put on this stuff and the more attention you put on the justice system and how it works is going to deter people to some degree from committing murders or maybe not much, but it does, I believe, make a difference. So I don't think anybody should feel guilty about feeling a certain way about these cases and taking an interest in them. Thank goodness that we have law enforcement that takes an interest and does these things.
Right. And I have a situation going on in my own personal life with my own 21-year-old son. He has been convicted of a crime that he's a 21-year-old boy that went to a high school party. He's 21 now, but at the time he was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a massive mistake. And now he is paying for that mistake. He did not commit a murder. He did not do anything wrong. But the justice system, because of the court rules, ruined his entire life. Like, I, as a mother, I can sit here and tell you, yeah, it ruined his entire life. But even the judge himself said, this is bullshit. But the laws will not change. The laws cannot catch up to the internet. My son committed, he didn't even commit it. It was a friend of his. Like, it's so big. And I get lost in these cases because I don't want to look at my own life. I don't want to look at what my son's going through. I go to YouTube and I look at these cases and I feel for these parents because, granted, I did not lose a son. I did not lose a child. I did not have my son's autopsy photos. But my son locally ran through the ringer. And for the rest of my son's life, he is marked as with a big X on his back when he is not. When he's not what the law says he is.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
I've wanted to open my own YouTube channel to discuss this, but I don't have the guts. I've seen how people ring people through the dirt on YouTube, and I won't do it. I've reached out to attorneys on YouTube and talked to them, and like there's no justice on YouTube. And
I mean, that's the thing is if you go public, by starting a YouTube channel and discussing your son's case, all of your, I mean, if it picks up the momentum that you're hoping that it would pick up, you're gonna have to prepare yourself for every piece of dirt in your personal life coming out, getting doxxed, getting harassed. I mean, so it just depends on what you're prepared for and how strongly you feel about the situation and how strongly you feel about spreading the information. So, there's a price, there's a nature of the beast of being a YouTuber. You know what I mean? It just is.
Exactly. But I feel like if my son had a voice, which he's in a bad place right now, he's hurting.
Is he in jail right now?
yeah, he's not okay. He's being marked as somebody that he's not.
Right. Well, I mean, can he appeal? I mean, it's just hard. It's hard for me to give an opinion when I don't know what the situation is, but I also don't want you to share personal information that you're not comfortable with, you know.
Right.
So
the case is closed, but he's paying the price. He's locked up, but what he told me is he told the truth and it screwed him. He didn't have an attorney present. And people automatically think, well, then he's automatically guilty. He admitted what he did. And what he did, yeah, he admitted it. But what he was accused of did not meet the crime. He was an 18-year-old kid at a party. And what were you doing when you're an 18-year-old kid at a party? When YouTube or the internet did not exist, so nothing was recorded. But because he was recorded.
I mean, it sounds like he's been locked up for a long time. Did you say he was 18, but now he's 22?
He was 18 at the time, and he's 21 now, and he's locked up now.
Oh, no, YouTube was a thing. YouTube was definitely a thing. I was on YouTube back then, you know?
Yeah. There's so much I'm leaving out. There's so many details I'm leaving out. Like, I'm not ready to share. I would share it with you personally, but I will not share it publicly because he is 21 years old and he is making his wrongs right.
Mm-hmm.
But what he did wrong was not wrong. It was wrong in the eyes of the law.
Okay.
But what he did is nothing different than what any of us at 18 did. He was at a party. He didn't, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't give an opinion on the situation when I don't know what happened, you know. All I can do is just hope that everything works out for you. And you know, luckily he's still pretty young. I don't know how much time he has left on his sentence. But hopefully once he gets out, he makes the best of it and learns from his mistakes and picks up the pieces and moves on and, you know, and makes something of himself. And you as a family can move past this and build.
He's a great kid. I mean, he's got a very, very bright future. He's not what society says he is.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
Right.
He's got an X marked on him, and he is excelling very, very well, like really well, because he is a shining star. And I'm not just saying that because he's my son. I'm just saying that because he really is making a difference, and he has a story to share, because when he shares this story, it's going to blow everybody away.
Right. Well, when that day comes, I wish you all the best. I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through. I can't imagine. You know, I mean, I've got a son who's almost 23, and he's you know, he's done a few things that weren't the smartest things in the world, but luckily, you know, he seems to have grown out of it, and he seems to have a good head on his shoulders. But I mean, I know his nature. I know his heart, you know, so if he were to be locked up for something, most likely it would be something just a bad decision, you know, and poor judgment, and I would support him and be there for him, and you know, and if he deserved the punishment because he made a bad decision, then you know, like I said, I would support him through that, but you know, I would also try to guide him as far as being accountable, you know.
Right. That's exactly right. Is there any way that, I know that on your email address that you said any new cases, I I could email you. Can I email you what's going on in
I mean, you
detail if
can,
want
but
to take it on? I know.
you can, but if
I
you
know
don't
you
want
have
it
a
talked about publicly, I can't see how much I could possibly help you, because I want to be clear. I'm not a licensed professional of any kind that could be of any help whatsoever. I'm just a guy. And so unless, you're looking to spread information and create awareness for your son's case, beyond that, I can't really do anything to help you, unfortunately.
Yeah, there is something I do want to say about my son's case. Be careful. Like, watch out who you hang out with as a teenager. Be very, very careful.
Yeah. I mean, but what teenager is going to listen to that? I know I wouldn't
Right.
have. I know I wouldn't
But
have.
as
So
parents, because I'm in a situation I never thought I would be in, but as a parent, like, that's the awareness I want to spread. Be careful, because you never know. In the blink of an eye, in the snap, it's over. When you get that phone call, and then you tell your child, just be honest. Tell the cops the truth. Be honest. And then your son comes out and said, Mom, I was honest, and it screwed me. And it ruined his life. He's 21 years old.
well, I mean, that's just again, I don't know the details of your son's case, but I mean, that's just the reality of being a grown-up, is having to face that fact that just because you're honest doesn't mean that you're not going to be held accountable for your actions. It's just how that is. Being honest doesn't automatically, it's not like when you're a kid and you tell your kid, your mom or your dad tells you, hey, as long as you don't lie to me, you won't get in trouble. That's not the real world. So it's in a situation, I mean, again, depending on the details of the situation, if my son was in that position, I'd be like, well, the best thing to do is to be honest, but be ready for what comes with it. But at least you held your head high, you took accountability, and you're taking the steps to make things better and make things right.
Right.
But that's just in theory. Generally, I don't know the details of the situation, but generally, in theory, that's what I would advise my son to do.
Right. And that's what I've advised him to do. Can I email you this and you see it? If you don't want to take it on, then don't. Like, we'll talk about it later. I'll email you, and then if you say, no, I completely understand. And I don't know what you could do. I guess I'm looking at you to be the voice that I can't be, because I don't know. I feel like I need to scream as a mother. I need to scream and shout about this, but at the same time,
I mean, you can send me an email, but I can't guarantee that I'll talk about it, and I also can't guarantee that I'm going to agree with you and see things the way that you do. If I look into it, I'm going to look into the facts. Cherry and I will look into it deeply, and if there's a chance that I'm going to look at it from a different perspective that you do, and so just be aware.
That's what I'm looking for. I guess that's why I called him, because I kind of want, like, if you get that, when you get that email, I do want you to look at it, but I did not mean to call you out on your live by any means.
Oh no, I opened the phone lines. You're absolutely, I mean, yeah, that makes no difference to me. Like I said, I just can't guarantee what's going to happen.
Right. This is just a mommy, like, screaming for her son.
I understand.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm sorry, but thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, Claire. You are amazing, and I will always be in the bushes. Like, that's who I am.
Right on.
I do.
No, that's
and every
great.
once in a while, when I feel something really, really hurts, like the cannon. Oh,
Lurking is perfectly fine. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's how you enjoy the channel is your business, and I'm just glad you enjoy it. So thanks for calling. I really appreciate it.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for
You too.
listening. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Claire, it's Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. So, Zav girl, she doesn't need to, go see sensitivity training. She needs to get off her computer and go get professional help and stop listening to people who have an opinion, who are just kissing her butt, saying, oh, you did nothing wrong. Like you said, this made Brian Enton. He's not just going to come out with crap.
I mean, I found that interesting. Like this person that she had on panel with her, this enabler that she has, criticizing people for criticizing her and saying, and saying things like, oh, what kind of life do they have? I mean,
exactly.
What kind of life do you have? You sat there just now and said that YouTube was your life. It's your living. That's that's not healthy.
8 hour YouTube
Yeah.
videos,
That's not healthy at all.
No,
it's not.
I don't get a life, get into the real world, and see how the real world is.
I have to take some ibuprofen here, so don't mind me.
That's okay.
It's Quaaludes, man. No.
Yeah, no. This chick is so out to lunch. It's ridiculous.
My mom used to say that. That person is out to lunch.
She's like a stunted 5-year-old who's like cookie all over her face. I didn't eat that cookie.
Totally.
Like seriously, get a grip, woman.
Right. Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the lack of self-awareness is astounding.
And it's sad. Like, just admit you did wrong, make a real apology, and then go away.
Right. Simple, easy. I mean, and you don't even necessarily have to go away. Like if she took accountability, she would at least she would get some of her subs back. If she actually took accountability, she doesn't seem to understand that the reason why she lost the amount of subs that she did is because she acted like she did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now to come back again and get pissed off at, the lawyer and Brian Enton and everyone. It's like, that's what a teenager, and a young teenager does.
Totally.
So are you stunted at teenage level?
Incredible.
Seriously. And listening to her, I clicked on her a couple years ago and I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this chick. I think I'd rather watch paint dry.
Dude, yeah. She is excruciatingly boring.
Not only that, but the look she has, it's like, are you constipated or do you really not know anything in life?
Totally. Yeah. It's incredible to me the entitlement and the enabling that takes place in her life, obviously, because she's not being held accountable by anybody in her immediate life, apparently. Because she's just, I mean, for her to sit there and bring up that her little nephew was like, everybody's calling you a monster. Everybody thinks you're a monster. Well, I mean, the right thing to do is to tell your nephew, well, I did something that I shouldn't have done.
I did something wrong. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So what kind of example is she setting for this little nephew? You know what I mean?
I've screwed up in my life, and I'm like, damn right, I did
totally.
That. Was it stupid? You betcha. Am I going to do it again? No. If I do something, I'm going to own up to it. Am I going to do it again? Probably not.
Right. I mean, that's life. You make mistakes, you learn from them, but you have to take accountability for them.
Exactly. And to go out and blame everyone else and then be like, oh, I'd like to show them again. But it's like, man, if you weren't charged the first time, like YouTube goes out international. I'm in Canada. And it's like, you're lucky you weren't in Canada because I'm pretty sure they would have nailed you for international child porn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, you know, but it's, I mean, I'm not really jumping on that because I'm hearing mixed. I have no interest in seeing those photos. I have no interest in watching her video where she did this.
No,
So
me neither.
I'm hearing mixed things that she blurred it out or she didn't blur it out and blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't matter if you blur it out or not. There's
It's
still
irrelevant.
those people.
It's
Yeah,
irrelevant.
there's still those people that are going to take it for their own sick pleasure and pass it amongst themselves.
Right.
So technically, if you want to be real technical about it, it's child porn. Like, it doesn't matter if it's
Some people are going to use it that way for sure.
exactly.
And
yeah, so,
and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, you know?
exactly.
And
then to chuckle about, you know, the thing she had on there with her was chuckling about, oh, now they're going to go to Congress and make a law against, and they're both laughing.
yeah,
Well, if
like
you weren't charged before, you should definitely be charged now.
right, basically
Like, you think this is
minimizing
funny?
right, totally minimizing the effect that her actions had on Gannon's family.
Exactly.
You
Like,
know,
you know, it's one thing to double or triple down, like you said, but it's another thing to sit there and make fun of, oh, now we're going to have a law so we can't have this anymore. It's dumb people like you that we have to have these dumb laws for. It's
right.
probably her who we have to put the sticker on lamps saying don't bring in a bathtub. It's people like her that we have to have that crap for.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's people like her that they put, you know, they put orange tips on toy guns now, you know.
and toaster not to be used in bathtub.
Unreal.
Like, yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say was, you know, just it's unbelievable, and I keep calling her out because the more she's called out, maybe she'll actually figure out, oh, I maybe did something wrong, and I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, she's just a drop in the bucket of creators that I call out and that do stupid shit. You know, it just so happens that this particular thing caught, you know, national and worldwide attention, and rightfully so. I'm glad it did. You know.
Yeah. Well, and for her to keep on going about it, and you know, and chuckling and laughing and blaming other people, it's like you said you wanted people to drop it, so apologize and drop it. Move on.
Right. If she would have just shut the fuck up after her so-called apology,
yeah, it would have.
You know,
down.
I wouldn't have even reviewed her
exactly.
that live stream. I wouldn't have even reviewed it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to just pick on her just to pick on her. You know what I mean?
No, I don't pick on people just to pick on people. But if you're going to do something stupid like this and repeatedly go back to it and, you know, do what she's doing,
right,
you need to be called out for your stupid shit.
Agreed.
Just like, you know, if I did stupid shit, I'd want my friends or family to be like, that was stupid. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
maybe I'll re-examine what I did. And
dude, I'm blessed. You know, I used to be the kind of person that would feel like the world is attacking me and why can't I get any support from my family, you know, but the thing is you know, being older now and being more accountable and having a different outlook on life, I'm blessed to have a mom and a brother that if I do something stupid, they're going to be like, yeah, you know, I love you, but that was fucking dumb, dude. You know?
Exactly. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know how old she is, but obviously I'm older than her. Maybe she just hasn't caught up to that, you know. Like, age 40, it seems like you're like, holy crap.
Right.
Dumb.
I mean,
you know?
She's in her 40s, dude. Like, when do you wake up? You know?
No kidding. If you haven't woken up by now,
like, when does this happen? When are you able to look yourself in the mirror and go, fuck?
Right?
You know?
You would think that would happen a while ago, but apparently she wakes up and she's like, I'm amazing.
Right. Because I mean, like, I don't feel victimized because I struggle with depression. I now look at my depression as somewhat of a blessing because I do get down on myself sometimes. Sometimes I just lay there in my bed and I'm just like, fuck, I suck, you know? And then, you know, when I start to, you know, I'll realize, you know what? It's not that bad, but you know what? If you don't want to feel like this, maybe do this a little bit differently, you know?
Exactly.
You know, it's not beating yourself up, it's catching yourself beating yourself up and being like, okay, wait a minute, do I have reason to 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 hold myself accountable for something, and what's the way to do it? You know, how do I do this by holding my head high and moving past it? How do I get past this?
Exactly.
So
and you know, it's a responsible adult way to do things. It's
Sure.
You know, and you know, we all have our issues, and I've got some pretty nasty health problems, but I keep waking up every day, doing my best, and saying, "There's people out there who have it worse than me.
Sure.
I'm going to try my best today. I'm going to be nice to everyone. If you're not nice to me, I just don't have time for you. Like, I've got too much on my plate to deal with stupid and ignorant."
Yeah, I mean, you look at
You know?
these celebrities, man, you know, like you look at Pee Wee Herman, you know, Paul Rubens, who just passed. This
Yeah.
guy didn't tell anybody about his cancer. You know,
Exactly, right?
He didn't use it for attention or to sad fish. You know, he actually released an apology letter, an
Yeah.
apology statement for not making it public. And it's like, dude, you have nothing to apologize for, you know?
Exactly.
And you know, Chadwick Boseman did the same thing.
Right? Yeah, like
Was
he
still
filmed
filming
Black
movies.
Panther while he was dying.
Right. He was still filming
you know?
movies while he knew he was terminal and he knew he wasn't going to survive, and he was still making movies and just, you know, living his life as best as he possibly could and contributing his art and his abilities to the world. And you know, setting that example is much more powerful than going woe is me, you know?
Exactly. You know, and I literally say that to myself every day. Like, I could be having a shit awful day. And, you know, so I'll take it easy and I'll just keep reminding myself other people have it worse.
Right.
You know, just do the best you can do. Don't put it out on anyone else. This is your problem. You know, if I leave this world, when I leave this world, I want people to be like, she was a good person. She was nice. She was kind. She helped. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, good riddance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You know, so I mean, it's a legacy of your name. Like, you're going to leave this world, and what are people going to say about her?
right. Absolutely.
Like, don't care if it's
I
your
don't
dog
want
on
that for
YouTube
her.
or not.
Honestly, I don't want that for her. I don't have any hateful feelings towards Zav Girl. Like, I would love to see someone who has 87,000 subscribers take accountability and set that example for her viewers. You know, I'd love to see that. That's I like, in my own weird way, I'm rooting for her, and
Well,
she's
you know,
just
yeah, 'cause,
constantly disappointing.
you know, it is her job, and good on you for getting on YouTube, showing your face, because a lot of people don't.
Right.
And you know,
And that's their right. That's their right. I never condemn people for being private and being anonymous. You know.
No, totally not. But you know, since she is, it's like, well, good on you.
Right.
But just, you know, anyone can get on YouTube and make crap.
Sure.
Make something that people are going to be like, you know, I'm going to go tell my friends, you have to watch this chick's channel, you know? And it's also the people who you bring on too. Like, you know, if you bring on that person and they act like that, be like, oh, you know, sorry guys, I totally made a mistake bringing that person on. Not happening again. You know, but she just repeatedly brings on these people, and it's like, you know, have a little higher standard. Have more respect for yourself, your channel, and your viewers.
Agreed. Yeah. I
Than to
mean,
put out that crap.
That's what she doesn't understand, is that she disrespected and disappointed the people who support her.
Exactly.
You know, that's
And now
what she
she's
doesn't
calling him
seem to
out.
get. She has no respect for, I mean, it's crazy to me that I have nearly 20,000 people that seem to give a fuck about what I say. That blows my mind when I think about it. And so when people who have 100,000, almost 100,000 subscribers or almost 1 million subscribers act like, you know, like they're entitled to the attention that they get is crazy to me.
Right?
You know, like I
You're
can't
only
imagine
on
thinking
YouTube
anything
because
but
people like
gratitude.
you.
Yeah, I can't imagine thinking anything but gratitude. And hold on a second, like TJ Talks, yeah, that's not cool. You know, to shit on his memory like that. Pee-wee was never charged or even investigated for being a child predator, so stop it. And Woody Allen is Woody Allen's he got married to a child. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about in my chat right now. It's like
Oh man. It's the world we're living in. Everyone's entitled since COVID, it seems, to I just gotta say whatever I want with no consequences, do whatever I want. It's like,
yeah, it's the entitlement, man. It's like, dude, you are not entitled to having people who care about what you have to say. Like that is a blessing. Like
exactly.
I'm a high school dropout. I have no formal education whatsoever. Like, so every time that I go live and I have this many people listening and watching, I am astounded. But I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for it because I'm astounded.
Yeah, but you give like the facts, you show the evidence, and then you're like,
well, that's how I show my
this is this,
gratitude.
and
You know what I mean?
That's bullshit.
That's how I show my gratitude, is with my actions.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
you don't get up there and bullshit and invite people that are morons on, and it's, you know.
I mean, yeah, like I don't understand that I just can't relate to that method of thinking, you know? I just can't. It's crazy to me that people
Me too.
That people act like they're entitled to some sort of following when it's like, dude, you know, like Critical K was like that. I just found that funny. I'm like, dude, you were a fucking occupational therapist's assistant. You don't have any fucking education whatsoever. You got fucking tech school education, and you're up here acting like you're the queen of YouTube and that you are part of a hierarchy that people should, and anybody who disagrees with you is a peasant. That's insane. And then look what happened to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody now gives a fuck about anything that she has to say because
yeah. Well, it's, you know, it's like, I don't care if you're a high school dropout. I don't care if you have a master's degree. I don't care if you're a freaking doctor. You open your mouth and shit like that comes out.
Sure,
I'm going to be like, wow, you might be educated, but you're dumb.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter if you're educated or not. It's common sense, decency, and to be like, if this were my child or my nephew or would I want this out there? No. Well, there you go right there. And if she's like, I don't care if they put it out there, I'm calling bullshit on that. Because I bet you would once over whatever platform.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, just put yourself in other people's shoes before you open your mouth. That's what the world needs to remember right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jules, I got no problem with you calling in, but I mean, I'm gonna take the calls as they come in order. You know, I mean, that's just what I'm gonna do. It's only fair to the rest of the people trying to call in. But you know, just if you don't get through it, you know, I'm sorry. But I am gonna take the next caller. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate your insight.
No, not a problem. Thank you for having me on, and hope you have a great night.
You as well.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, the line is open. So anybody who wants to call in, going to be taking calls until this cup of coffee is gone. PB&J, she doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, it's Ghoul.
Oh, you made it through. Amazing.
I did. I made it, and I promise I'm not going to have a rant like I did this afternoon.
Okay.
I do have a question for you, though.
Okay.
I'm going to get off of Zav for a moment with the whole Brian Enton thing and how he called her out, rightfully so, and there was not anything incorrect in his reporting. He did that with her. What is your take on the fact that no one, not in mainstream media, cable news, not even in LawTube on YouTube, that no one is addressing Upchuck?
I just don't think that it interests them. You know, it's. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't feel that way. I feel like disrespect to a family is disrespect to a family, but you know, sharing autopsy photos of an 11-year-old, I guess, strikes a nerve a little bit harder than Upchuck saying that a girl who died of an accident didn't exist. You know, as far as newsworthy stuff. So that would be my guess. I don't know.
But now that there's been a lawsuit filed against him, you don't think that changes the game?
I'm sure it does, but what I'm saying is, you know, there's no control over what the news deems worthy of news, you know. So it's like, you know, when Bullhorn Betty and MGL and JLR ended up going to Tennessee and harassing the Wells family, the local news covered it, but it didn't pick up momentum, even though I thought that was disgusting and I thought that was crazy. But I mean, the local news covered it, you know. I was grateful for that. But you know, whether or not other stations pick it up and they deem it newsworthy more than anything else that they're talking about, you know. But the thing is, you know, Gannon's victimization struck an emotional chord with Brian Enton personally. I watched it happen in real time. I watched him post on YouTube or post on Twitter about it, and then later on announced that he was going to discuss it with Michael Allen on News Nation.
Right.
We have no control over that sort of thing. You know, it's like I said, it's what they consider to be newsworthy, and we don't have any control over that. I was just grateful that he addressed that. And it picked up everywhere. Normally YouTubers won't even talk about it. I watched the Sesh podcast with Kendall Ray and they were discussing it. You know, a lot of people were discussing it. Local news stations all over the place discussed it. Newspapers picked it up and discussed it. So, you know, that shows how effective Brian Enton's influence can be. But we can't expect Brian Enton to pick up every single drama that takes place on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's just not realistic.
Okay. All right. I just wanted your.
Don't get me wrong. I wish he would. You know, I wish he would, but you know, I'm a realist, and I'm just not going to get my boxers in a bunch over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just wanted to know what your opinion was in regard to that, and when it comes to Zab and what she did, it just. I was so irritated. I was irritated since last night when I saw Tragedy Pimps exposed when I saw her stream, and I got in touch with Lewis right away and said,
you got to watch this. This is just unbelievable. And I was irritated to the point where, yeah, it was bad. And I don't understand how she still doesn't get it. And is she playing like she doesn't really understand it? Or doesn't she really understand it?
No, I think it's a little bit of both. You know, and it's as far as the Ryan Upchurch thing, you got to also understand it's still early. Like, so, you know, if once it goes to trial, we don't know if that's going to pick up some news attention. You know, this is going to be a while that this takes place, because Kylie Rodney's grandfather and father are not looking for a settlement. You know, they're looking for justice. They want to make an example of him. And that process is going to take a while. So maybe it just hasn't gotten around to getting that attention. Now, as far as Zav Girl goes, and answering your question, it's best to my ability to answer your question. As far as Zav Girl, does she know, you know, is she playing stupid? Or I think that she lacks the self-awareness to really believe that anything that she did was wrong. But I also think that she is playing dumb as far as acknowledging anything that she did was wrong. So like I said, it's a little bit of both.
And
you know,
and to say that you can be detached and look at these photos, no, you can't.
No. I mean,
it's insane.
It takes a sociopath to be completely detached from looking at those photos. You know, I can understand someone taking an interest in order to understand decomposition, things of that nature. I understand that. But when you don't have an expert who's educated and trained in that field explaining what you're looking at, it's just morbid and disgusting.
Exactly. And if she wanted to discuss the autopsy, and you must have heard me say this today, she had the report, and they have the black and white sketches. She could have used those. She didn't have to use the photos.
Right.
And in my opinion, it was a money grab.
Michael Allen said the same thing. Michael Allen, the prosecutor in the Letitia Stout trial, said the exact same thing on Brian Enton's panel. He said, you know, there's sketches, there's things that if you were trying to discuss what happened again, and there were other ways to do so without being so graphic and disrespectful to his memory. So yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, and Landon made it really, really clear. I'm sure you saw what she posted on her Facebook page. And that was her child. And right. She doesn't want her child to be remembered that way. And I don't understand why these two idiots don't understand this.
Right.
And not to mention the fact that, okay, so people joined her Patreon, and for those that don't even realize it, Patreon took that down 3 times before they removed it permanently.
Right.
They took it down, she put it back up. They took it down, she put it back up. I mean, and you have these crazy people that'll pay however much they pay to get in there to get those pictures. And look, come on, look at how fast it got to Reddit.
Right. She did not spend that money out of the goodness of her heart. She spent that money and put it behind her Patreon paywall in order to make the money back and then a profit. And trying to act like she didn't and act like we're all stupid is insulting. You know, I mean, it's clear that that's what she did.
Yeah.
And she's lying. She was absolutely asked to not do so prior to the fact. I watched it happen.
Yes. And there was 3 separate people in the chat today that said they were there and told her not to do it.
Right. Agreed.
So, I mean, it's just mind-boggling, because first you make an apology, which was a backhanded apology. and then you're gone for a month, and the first thing you do when you come back online is do this.
Oh, it was so predictable. It was just like, yeah, she has to be on YouTube. So she was hoping, oh well, I'll give it a couple weeks and let let it die down some, and then I'll just come back. And then she goes up there acting like she's accepting an award because everyone with any common sense simply turned their backs on her. That's why she didn't get all of the scrutiny and all the trolls in her chat, because the kind of people that were offended by what she did are just simply people who have enough sense to just be like, ah, fuck her, you know, and walk away.
Yes, but here's the thing, though. If she would have just came back quietly and covered something else or talked about something else,
I wouldn't have even reviewed it. Yeah.
Exactly. We wouldn't be here tonight.
Nope.
We wouldn't have been. None of us. And for her to say, "Oh, everybody covered it for weeks," no. The 2 times you did your stupid apologies, yeah, we called you out, and then we moved on until today.
Yeah, she's trying to compare and say that other creators still have the same thing that she did up on their YouTube channels. Not true. Not true.
No. It's not true.
The trial itself, I mean, yeah, you're looking at a camera showing a monitor, not the actual monitor. You know what I mean? Like, not what was shown on the monitor. It was very difficult to see, and you had an expert witness who was the medical examiner in that case explaining the evidence, explaining it away. That's all you needed to do, is go over that. You did not need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was explained fully at trial.
Right.
So why was there a need to even go and request the
None.
transcription? Everything.
Money.
There was no need to do it. The trial was over. The nut job went to jail for the rest of her life. End of story. And let this family
Justice was served.
breathe.
I waited 3 years for that justice. I kept my old job. I kept blue lights on the outside that illuminated the entire building that you could see from the highway in honor of Gannon until he would get justice. Then I stopped working there, so I couldn't do it anymore. But my intention, intention was to keep those lights blue every night until justice was served.
I did not know that.
And I sent a picture of it. I sent a picture of it to Landon to let her know that she has support in this community.
Well, she still does. I think she has more support than she actually realizes. And, but yeah, it's just a bad situation.
She realizes it. She knows. I mean, I don't really I've communicated with her very briefly on a couple of occasions because I don't want to contact her unnecessarily, you know?
Right.
I just keep it very simple. Like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I just want you to know that there are people who really, really care about getting justice for little Gannon. So I just want you to know that our hearts are with you, you know? And she's very kind, and she says, you know, she'll respond and say, thank you so much. That means a lot. And that's it.
Right.
But, you know, it's just so gross to exploit this kid and then act like that's not what you did. The thing is I just don't even think, I think that she plays dumb, but I don't think that she knows. I think she plays dumb so much, and it's such a habit that it's a part of her character. It's a part of her personality to the point where she doesn't even realize when she's playing dumb. So, you know, I mean, you can't do anything with people like that. People who just convince themselves that they're just in what they do. I mean, you look at Lori Vallow's final statements. You know, she takes no accountability.
None.
You know, I mean,
None.
Crazy. It's crazy. These are people that what they do, they
Tammy,
justify their actions in their mind so they can live with it.
And Tammy was her best friend. My best friend is busy in heaven.
Right.
Oh my God, that woman.
She stole her husband and she did not know her.
Yeah. I know. It's insane. It's
Right.
absolutely insane.
She used her Amazon account to buy her wedding ring. You know?
I know.
Like what?
Months before they killed her.
Yeah, insane. Yeah. Just crazy. Just crazy.
It is absolutely insane. Well, I'm gonna let you go so you can take some other callers, but I'm gonna leave on this note. I hope to God that after she sees what Tragedy did, what Lewis did, and what you did tonight makes her rethink this plan of hers that she's gonna go live and talk about this shit again, and whatever is in her head.
And what she thinks she's going to do, what she thinks is going to happen is that she's going to capitalize on a back and forth with Brian Enton. Brian Enton's not even going to acknowledge whatever she's going to say or do. Nobody's going to care, you know? And like she thinks that she's going to start a rift with Brian Enton and people are going to log on and be like, ooh, you know, drama between Zav Girl and Brian Enton. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Brian Enton is done acknowledging her, I'm sure. Brian Enton has moved on to more pressing issues than Zav Girl.
Yes, and let's face it, he's more credible than she is.
Right. Like, yeah, like he stepped on a cockroach and kept walking. That's what he did.
Exactly.
Period.
So anyway, I'm going to bid you good night. It was nice speaking with you. Hope to see you pop in over at Nerd Report again, and I will be here more often. I know I've been neglecting my mod duties, but I did good tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and when I can catch Lewis on Nerd Report, yeah, like I'll definitely pop in. And I appreciate you guys covering it because I know that's not usually the Nerd Report type content. So
No, it isn't. But I was glad to see you pop in. But when stuff like this happens, we will cover it. Like we did the whole Carly Russell thing. God, I was furious over that one too. I was so furious over that.
Yeah.
In fact, Lewis and I don't know if you caught that, but Lewis and we actually went to war over that. We were on opposite sides of the fence. And I mean, it was bad. But
that was a touchy subject, man. Like I gotta say, man, I had Steve Fisher, SF Investigates, on here the other day. And I had to let him know. I was like, yo, that was some ballsy shit, dude. Because you called out Carly Russell as a hoax before there was, before it was confirmed. And that took some balls, man, Will,
I got to be honest with you. When that story first broke on that Thursday night, I called Lewis. It must have been around midnight. Well, yeah, it was around midnight for me, so it was around 9 for him. But I was like, there's a story breaking, and we need to cover it. And I told him about it. I want you to know, you're going to think I'm a total idiot. I believed she was abducted. I believed that this is my thought process. Oh, my God, they're using babies as bait to abduct.
Well, right. But see, this is the thing. When it comes to cases like that, because I wasn't ready to say anything publicly necessarily. I mean, I did a little bit. I asked my questions publicly, but I did not give my full opinion publicly because I was on Down the Rabbit Hole News' panel with Ikad Mel and SF Investigates. And he was like, yeah, it's totally a hoax. And I'm sitting there asking questions because that's the thing. You gotta look at these things objectively when you follow true crime cases. Like you gotta ask questions. Like, why was there no reports of a baby being on the road? Why, you know what I mean? Why was there no why was there no struggle reported on the road? I mean, he's like this is a guy who investigates missing people, so he's like. A kidnapping like that is a violent incident. Somebody on that main road, on that very busy street, is going to notice a struggle, no reports, nothing. So
thinking that way, though.
those are valid questions to ask. And when you've got the whole world going victim, 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 don't do that, don't say that. But you're like, aren't they valid questions to ask though?
Well, they were, but I honestly thought my instinct was that this is what happened until Saturday night when it was reported that she showed up home. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Right.
What? And then I'm like, no, there's something wrong with this story.
Right.
And then it was into Sunday was when I figured it out.
I mean, she described Archie from a comic book that
to that case, because I do believe that there is an upside to this, is that it did bring to the Black community, this was like the first time ever that a case like this went national that quickly.
Juicy Smollett, man. Juicy Smollett. That happened.
Oh, well, yes, but that's a totally different. Okay.
What you're saying is what you're saying is
a totally different story. I'm talking about as far as giving someone mainstream media attention.
Understood. That it's rare that a person of color gets the attention that. Right. I get it.
It has united a lot of people, and I think that we will see, these types of cases more so in the mainstream media than just the blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Right. I agree.
So that's the only upside that came out of this. But the 2 misdemeanor charges. Yeah, that's the law now.
And people are so outraged, like, she needs to serve time, blah blah blah. The law doesn't work that way. I mean, there's no like serious, like, there's no felonies involved in what she did. The question is, should there be? But I mean, really, should there be?
The 11-year-old girl here in Florida. Did you hear the story?
No.
Okay, last week we had an 11-year-old girl that did the same exact thing, well, almost the same exact thing of what Carly Russell did.
Yeah, but she's 11.
She's 11, correct. They charged her with a felony.
I heard about that.
Felony. She went to juvenile hall, and this is where Lewis and I went to battle because he wasn't understanding this part. Okay, and I had to call Volusia County Sheriff's Department and spoke with the PR person to find out why was she charged with a felony if she did the same thing that Carly Russell did.
Well, that's something you got to talk to.
She used a gun. She said that a man in a white van used a gun and took her friend at gunpoint, and because she said a gun was involved and that the man was violent, and she even gave a description of the man and everything, and that's why they charged her with a felony.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, again, different circumstances come with different charges. It's because overall, in the grand scheme of things, they did the same thing. The details matter. So, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying the details matter. But yeah.
Right. Anyway, good night, my man. It was a pleasure talking to you.
You as well.
Take your next caller or finish your coffee, whichever comes first.
Oh yeah, I'm logging off.
Okay.
In just a second.
Have a good one, hon.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thanks. All right, guys. Yes, I am going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you guys joining me. It's such a I love taking the phone calls because we have interesting conversations, and I love to get to interact with you guys. So but yeah, man, I appreciate you guys a lot. If you guys are still looking for a little more YouTube stuff to watch, head on over to Morbid Realities chat or Morbid's chat. He's let me see real quick. unless he's done. No, he's still live. Here, let me drop a link to that live real quick. But yeah, check out Morbid, man. He's a friend of mine, and if, again, guys, if you're easily offended, don't watch Morbid. He lives up to the name. So head on over there and give him a like. Tell him I sent you. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.